What's up, everybody? This is Loudmouse, your boy Tim.
And the real Ron, I'm always going to be here. Today's going to be fucking special.
The real Ron.
I'm coming out with the F word right off the top, Tim. I mean,
that's okay.
It's going to be phenomenal. Here's what I want to start out with. I'm going to take it.
And don't be talking that trash now.
I just want to take just a little bit off the top.
All right.
I just shared a Joy Hoffmeister video on my page. On my page.
I haven't seen it.
Right. Because Joy came out talking about how she just found out that this Sooner poll puts her and Gina Nelson and all these fucking Democrats like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They're in front of Kevin Stitt and Ryan Walters as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, well, I posted about that, but the numbers related to that poll, there's only like 400 and some people that they sampled. So,
no, I'm worried about it, Tim.
I mean, here's the thing. The moderates is what people should be concerned about with Ryan, because she was kicking his ass with the moderates. It was like 17% to 72% or something like that. It was pretty crazy.
You talk about moderates, you're talking about like the independents.
Right.
Not registered Republican or Democrat, because as much as I do, there's a lot of Democrats out there that registered Republican just to vote against Ryan.
Yeah, well, and the same is true for Republicans going to Democrats too.
So why do we even do that anymore then?
I don't know. I think they'll, primary system is kind of jacked up to begin with, letting the party decide or whatever. I say people just run. Just let them run. Just fucking run. Yeah.
But this new poll, it's got me worried because, and I'll tell you something else. When I go to Gina's page, Gina has so many. She'll have like 500 or 600 likes, and for every like she has an additional share.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking she's got to be paying for that shit.
I mean, I doubt it. Have you seen the videos and stuff she puts on? There's like no effort into it. I mean,
who is sharing that 500-600 times? They're sharing that.
There's a lot of Democrats in the state, people that lean this way. So when you get somebody as galvanizing as Ryan going, I think you get a lot more people active that are against him.
But they're not sharing his shit. Where are my Republicans at is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Republicans sharing his shit.
I mean, he gets a lot of comments and stuff. A lot more than she does, for sure.
Some shares, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say. As far as Ryan goes, maybe, I don't know, cut the repeating that woke crap out. That's
no, I'm saying put the fucking hammer down.
Go full force, huh?
Go the other way. Throttle. I mean,
he has been though. If you think about it.
I'm saying don't ease up.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind that you whoop your enemy's ass and you let them run off and regroup. No.
Of course, at this point, he said it so many times. If he were to, regress or egress or whatever on that topic, it might look bad. But I mean, God, how many times can you say woke liberal mob?
It works though. It just I like it.
Man, I don't
like the word woke, but I like the message.
Here's the thing. I knew you liked him, and I was going to give the guy a shot. I think, me and you had talked about that because I didn't know anything about him. This is months ago. But then I went on Twitter and I seen the dude doing one of those videos he does. And I'm like, oh my God, no. Because to me, it was just cringy, and I feel like, hey, what's up, Chaos Seeker? We got a comment. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I can't see that. No, it's just as equally as cringy to me when I see Gina going out and sign languaging to goats or whatever the fuck she was doing.
Well, did you see that pep rally?
Or holding up the sign that says Pride Oklahoma. That's all she's worried about is diversity. And
did you see the pep rally?
I did.
Yeah, she looked and sounded pretty damn good in that pep rally, I gotta say.
She looks like Michael Jackson
with
the one glove, like waiting on the audience.
Man, I loved her I loved her energy. I
I
gotta say,
bet, I bet you did, Tim.
yeah,
I
no,
bet you
because
did.
because I haven't heard or seen much from her, and then to see her in that pep rally, of course, those speakers they had were, God, they were just horrendous, and the sound, like, man, you should have put the freaking microphone to go directly into the stream instead of just picking up the sound in the room, which is what they were doing, and it was pretty terrible. I could barely hear anything, but
Well, that's what you get when you invest in Democrats. That's what I'm saying.
well, I mean, she's probably on a shoestring budget. This is Oklahoma, you know.
I've got a hang on.
I can only see a keyboard. There you go. I've got an inside scoop for you tomorrow.
Oh
Who's
shit!
that?
Tim.
Who's that?
Tell you. I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you right
Don't
now.
tell me. Don't say Hunter.
No, it's not.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay.
Hey, Hunter's a good dude. Hunter is solid, son.
Is he? Okay.
He is. He is.
Well,
I've known Hunter for 2.5 years, and we won't get into Hunter because I've known Hunter before almost anybody. He reached out to me like 2.5 years ago when they shut down schools. He's like, "How do we get these schools open?" And we were just a couple of dads, just like you and I, and we were trying to get it figured out. So that's all I'm gonna say about Hunter. Hunter's a good dude.
well, when you block people just because they disagree with you,
Tim,
yeah.
I think you've blocked me before,
No, I've never blocked you.
but you've kicked me out of your group.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
For a very specific reason. Well, multiple reasons, but yeah. But no. No, it's one thing to block somebody because, and I'll just tell the quick version of the story. Guy blocks you. Whenever it's so irritating when somebody on Facebook or really anywhere says something and then blocks you so you can't respond. Like, what was the point of saying it in the first place?
That's infuriating.
But then months later, after, I mean, I didn't even know Hunter very well anyway. He reached out to me, but then out of nowhere, here comes this dude that's blocked you. And then he unblocks you because somebody else tags you in a post. He unblocks you so he can post another response and then blocks you again or tries to. That's pretty weird. Let's, come on.
I can't speak to that because I didn't even know about the thread or anything.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
I can speak to the fact that Hunter's a good dude, and I can speak to the fact that we have had people do that shit to us, like the old boy that warned us that we're not ever supposed to go back to Tulsa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I got plans for that dude.
Yeah, he's like, don't show your face in Tulsa anymore. Block.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he got me too, because I went to his page because you sent that to me, and I'm like, you shouldn't threaten people or whatever. That makes our people look bad, because he's on the left from what I could glean from his post.
Oh, yeah, he's completely on the left.
Yeah. And it's funny because, he called me a Nazi and threatened me too.
He called you a Nazi?
Yeah.
I knew he threatened you. I didn't know he called you a Nazi.
Yeah. He called me a Nazi, and it's funny because Facebook's like, no, that's fine. That's totally fine. But when you tell him to shut the fuck up, that's a bridge too far.
And let's bring that up because you just got banned.
I'm still currently banned. And that's why we're not streaming to Facebook, by the way. Anybody that was hoping we were going to stream to Facebook, I'm the one streaming from my side, and I don't have Ron's login, and so I can't stream because I'm banned. But,
because you told what's his name?
I said, bitch, shut the fuck up. But this was, in response to him calling me a Nazi and threatening me. Yeah. So, and his post gets to stay on my page. This is on my post,
all his shit is still on my page.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, okay, I found the dude's address and I know where he works, but I don't know where he works. But, my intention, I'm not going to go to anybody's house. That's retarded. But my intention is to go to where he works and video that. Just because, you go online.
You can do that.
Right. You go online, you start making threats like, don't do that. Because my cousin said, man, there are crazy people out there. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm fucking one of them. So, we'll see. I may not do it. It's a good thought in my head. I've had those before, never follow through with it, but
I don't know. I don't know either because you've seen
it's good content.
You see the last couple days, these people they found that fucking mugshot of me 10 years ago.
I'm sorry, but I had to laugh
Oh
when
my
I saw
God.
that shit. What did it say? I don't always steal drugs from the ambulance, but when I do, ...
It was funny. It
was pretty funny.
I had to own it because it was a mugshot of me. I did steal narcotics. I've explained that.
Well,
But the mugshot was from when I got arrested for a suspended driver's license. It wasn't even the same shit.
Well, what's funny is when you first sent that to me, I didn't even realize it was you. I thought it was just a picture of some random dude,
with the head.
meme. Yeah, and then when I looked at it again later, I saw that it was a mugshot of you. I was like, oh my God, that is so amazing.
It was it's the only one out there, and it was from McIntosh County Jail. And I spent 3 days in McIntosh County Jail because I went to jail on a Friday night, and my bunkmate was in there for murdering and like decapitating somebody, and I was like, I'm not ever coming back to jail.
Yeah, it's not the greatest experience in the world.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, like I said, that mugshot's gonna be around.
It's there.
When you put yourself out there, they're gonna bring it up. Because look at Matt Gaetz, that dude's mugshot. Yeah. They always bring it up. I've seen it like 7 times a day.
Joy Hoffmeister has a mugshot.
Does she really? I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen her mugshot.
Yeah.
No, I gotta look this up, man. We gotta put this up.
No, Joy Hoffmeister.
Hold on,
I'll send it to you right now.
I'm gonna put that in the. I'm gonna put that in the stream if I can. Let's see.
Yeah, buddy.
Joy for Oklahoma. Joy Hoffmeister mugshot. Here we go.
Look it up.
Leaves jail after posting bond.
Yes, sir.
Of course, it's behind a freaking paywall.
Yeah. I got the picture though. If you want it.
Do you send it to me on Facebook?
Okay, I'll do
Send it to my Facebook Messenger. I'm gonna throw this up in here. Let me add this to the scene real quick.
And I will say that it was dismissed or whatever, just kind of like my charges, but everybody's got a fucking mugshot, it seems like.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
She's wanting to be governor of Oklahoma, and then she sends these people after me, her and Gina do. And I say her and Gina, it's basically Gina's people.
I don't know that they send them after you. I mean, you're a pretty big target, Ron. Let's be honest.
I guess.
Yeah, you put yourself out there in a lot of threads, so you're gonna run into that sooner or later. And to the audience, sorry guys, we're talking about this stuff, but we do have content for you. We're gonna get there.
This is just trash we're talking right now.
Yeah, I'm real interested in seeing Joy's mugshot here. I haven't seen it. I didn't even know that
you
was.
Did not. Are you serious? You did not know that she had
not
that?
A clue.
I got thousands of pictures. Hang on a second. I'm sending this to you.
Okay. He's sending it to me now. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about how do you pronounce that guy's name? Couy? Or does he go by Couy?
I don't know.
Couy Griffin. Anyways, co-founder of Cowboys for Trump. We're going to get into that dude and this is something that's going to be a big story, I think, moving forward. He was just basically barred from holding office for life because of his role in January 6th.
Did he hold office, or was he?
He was county commissioner. Yeah, he was county commissioner
from
in New Mexico, I think. I believe it was in New Mexico. Let me double check. Let's see.
I know a little bit about the Cowboys for Trump, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember if it said in the article that I wrote that I read about it. Removed the county commissioner. Yeah, it just says Otero County Commissioner. Now
he was the county commissioner,
right, in Otero County. I'm trying to find out where that. Yeah, Otero County, New Mexico. Which, matter of fact, that's where I was born, New Mexico.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's funny, when I was younger, every time I would say that, the first question I would get, "Are you Mexican?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes," because all people from New Mexico are Mexicans.
My first real girlfriend, like from 8th and 9th grade in high school, she teaches in a New Mexico like Native American village. Like
Okay.
she speaks native, and she was super cute. I probably should have stayed with her, but
Hit her up on Facebook.
nah, she's blocked me.
Why does that not surprise me?
I don't know.
Did you send it? Because I don't have that
Not
picture.
yet. I'm still looking. I've got like 47,000 pictures.
Okay, let me.
Swear to God, I got it though.
Joy Hoffmeister mugshot. Come on now.
Yeah, hang on.
Come on, Google. I may have to go to DuckDuckGo. Oh, I found it. Okay, you know what? I think I have seen this.
I got this.
I found it. Let me download it if I can. It's probably not going to let me.
Will you send me Joy Hoffmeister's mugshot, please?
I got it.
All right. Thank you. Love you.
Hoffmeister.
It's on its way.
Okay. I got it. Hold on.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah. It's just a phone call away.
Downloads. Boom. And then I'm going to throw that up in there. And you should be able to see that now.
There it is. There it is. Do you have mine?
Let me see. Bum, bum, bum.
I wish you could put mine and hers together and be like, we're still humans.
You're still human. Let me make it a little bit smaller here.
She was fresh off a dinner date. Look at that makeup and stuff.
That's hilarious.
They picked her up off the office. Joy, I'm sorry they did that to you. That's wrong. That's dirty.
That's funny.
I'm not voting for you, but it's dirty.
Hey, she looks pretty there. You know, I gotta say.
Oh, Joy, yeah.
I've seen a lot worse mug shots than that.
Yeah, look at mine. Look at mine. I was like,
Chaos Seeker says, "Welcome to the American education."
Who the hell is Chaos Seeker? I like them.
I know who Chaos Seeker is, but I can't tell you. It's
okay. All right. I got a big scoop for you tomorrow too.
Joy looks like Hillary Clinton. You know she does. She does look like Hillary Clinton, like a young version.
She really kind of does.
Yeah, that's
big
funny.
Nose and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so this Couy Griffin thing, you want to talk about that, or do you have something else? All right, so
it's not really the Couy Griffin thing, more so the January 6th thing, but we'll get there. But go ahead with the Couy Griffin story because that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it'll probably be a big thing moving forward, you know, as I'll just say the Democrats move forward with their, you know, investigation into January 6th, going after all those people.
I got to get ready for this, Tim, because it's going to be ugly.
Well, I hope not. So the judge said you can't hold office anymore because if you take part in a rebellion, I'm getting some feedback.
Hang on a second.
And I'm hearing it's like
you know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, that's so much better. God, it was driving me nuts.
Go ahead.
Now I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so
the judge said he couldn't hold on.
The judge's Francis Matthew said he couldn't hold office anymore. And now, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, I'll just read it. It says, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability," meaning you'd have to pass another amendment in order to undo that. Now, the purpose behind that, obviously, after the Civil War, they didn't want people from the South, like generals and such, to hold office in the government, which to a degree I can understand why they wouldn't. given that they basically declared war on themselves. So that's why that was there. It hasn't been used much that I can find.
I don't think it has been used. Maybe
I believe it has.
What was it? The couple.
You're not talking about the dude with the gun in the picture when he was. You're not talking about those people, right? Well, there was somebody, Victor Berger or something. I believe his name was like 1819. Had become a sheriff or sheriff's deputy or something, and then somebody, it was a crime for him to have taken that seat because he had previously engaged in some kind of rebellious activity. But I couldn't find enough information to really talk about it. So
I'm just coming out the gate. I don't have a problem with the 14th Amendment stating that at all.
Yeah.
What my problem is who decides what's rebellion, insurrection, or a bullshit riot?
Well, like I said before when we were talking about this, it's actually written into federal law. And I'll just read that again. Forgive me, but I didn't set all my scenes up, or I just put it up on the screen. So the Insurrection Act basically allows the president to pause posse comitatus, which is to prevent active military from, engaging in civil issues. So it says here, the president, by using the militia or the armed forces or both, or by any other means, shall take such measures as he considers necessary to suppress in a state any insurrection, domestic violence, unlawful combination, or conspiracy, if it, and here comes the definition, so hinders the execution of the laws of that state and of the United States within the state that any part or class of its people is derived of a right, privilege, immunity, or protection named in the Constitution and secured by law, and the constituted authorities of that state are unable, fail, or refuse to protect that right, privilege, or immunity. Now, in this case, it's slightly different, but I'm only bringing this up because it talks about the things that the Insurrection Act can be employed to prevent. And one of those things is when people are being deprived of a right or a privilege. Now, when they were in the Capitol building, they were trying to certify the electors, for the votes. So that is a process of the government that was being impeded by this group of people by doing what they did. So, in my opinion, that can be considered an insurrection by definition. I mean, I get why people wouldn't call it that, because it wasn't, a bunch of armed troops coming in there shooting up, you know what I mean, holding hostages or whatever. But the intent was pretty clear, at least with some of them.
Okay. Can I rebut real quick?
Well, yeah, that's what we're here for, Ron.
So let's say Joe Biden wins in 2024. Jesus Christ, holy God, Batman forbid. But
let's hope not.
Let's say he wins in 2024. And me and 115 other ignorant rednecks go up to the Capitol building with airplanes, with paper airplanes and Christmas paper wrapping sticks and stuff like that. And we run up in the Capitol and we try an insurrection. So how does that an insurrection?
Well, I mean, they literally broke into the Capitol building.
Do what?
They broke into the Capitol building.
No. They didn't break into the Capitol. I've showed you video I sent you earlier where the Capitol Police moved the shit and then waved them on.
So, okay, just because a police officer is allowing somebody else to break the law doesn't mean that those people are, because the police don't actually get to say this is the law, right? That's for a judge to decide. They have cordoned off this because in this Capitol building, they're literally certifying the electors, and those Capitol Police.
I said no. Can I finish this now? Sorry, I had to embarrass my kids.
No, that's all right. I understand. I locked my door.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I forgot what I was saying.
You're saying the police can't say that you can break the law. But if you were up there and that's your capital and you're an American and that's your capital and Capitol Police say, here, I'm gonna move the barricade that we put up to keep y'all out. I'm gonna move that and I'm gonna wave y'all on in.
That officer should be charged with it just the same.
Has he?
I don't know. I
hasn't.
honestly don't know. But again, and they didn't put enough Capitol Police up there to begin with.
Because and who was in charge of that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It's Nancy Pelosi. Come on, Tim, you know that she was.
Did she tell them to go in there and take a dump in her office?
She may have. I haven't seen her email.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want. It happened. And there are Capitol Police that were probably, wanting this to take place, that they wanted these people to go in there. That's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Here's why they're pushing this January 6th shit. They're trying to keep Trump from being able to run for president. That's it. They know that it wasn't an insurrection. They know that it wasn't a coup. They know that it wasn't a government. They weren't trying to take over the government.
What would you call it?
I called it 1,000 people up there pissed off that Trump lost the election. And
so a protest?
A protest, a peaceful protest outside the Capitol. I also call 118 people that went inside the Capitol need their ass whooped because those are not my people.
Right. And those people went into the Capitol and broke in. One of them got killed. So.
And who is responsible for that?
Those people.
Right. So
the people
how do you tie? So if me and 118 other people went into Owasso Public Schools and they're like, Tim said that we should go down there and protest peacefully. You think they should come arrest you because of what me and 118 other people did?
I maybe you're putting words in my mouth. I never said that somebody should be penalized for not being there. I don't really understand.
Trump. How is Trump responsible for this?
Inciting is a crime on its own. Well, I mean, I don't have the exact tweets and the exact videos and stuff, but he had previously stated that January 6th was going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be explosive. The rhetoric that he had been employing throughout, leading up to this. And see, that's the thing, though. Trump is really good at getting other people to do things for him. That's how he's become this, enigma where he does all of these terrible things and surrounds himself with all of these criminals.
No.
Yet he himself never gets in trouble for it because he didn't actually do the doing. He didn't do the deed.
You say he gets these people to do these terrible things. And I don't think that's true. I think he's a delegator. He's a leader. He gets people to build walls and keep illegal murderers and shit out of our country. I loved his policies. I can't hardly stand to hear him speak. But I watched on January 6th. I was ready to go. I was like, oh shit, they're going to the Capitol. I don't know what these people are fixing to do, but this is fixing to set our country into like civil war. And all I heard was Trump say, go down there, be peaceful, let your voices be heard, be loud as hell, and go protest. That's American to me.
Well,
run up in there and shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
So I never said that Trump was going to be charged with anything. I doubt very seriously that he will be. What his role is in that, I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
What?
Do you think he should be able to run for president in 2024?
I don't think that man is fit to run anything. But that's my personal opinion.
Do you think he will be able to run?
If he gets charged with inciting that insurrection, then no, he should not be able to run.
I'm going to tell you right now, if he's charged and they disqualify him from trying to run in 2024, our country is done.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure they're going to take that into consideration. But think about that. You're going to make a decision about something based on the ramifications of that. Yet we have laws in this country. And if you aren't willing to follow those laws, and if you aren't, you don't respect the country enough to try to maintain some semblance of, justice or whatever, or of process, then I don't know what to say. That's kind of crappy to say, well, if you do this, then we're going to freak out and we're going to take over the country,
No.
which is kind of the whole, well, it's a civil war that's brewing in this country.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I completely believe it is.
And I think that if Donald Trump were charged and thrown in jail for that, I think people would freak out. I think people on the right would absolutely lose their shit. And I think that's something that they are taking into consideration, Merrick Garland included.
I think rightfully so. They should freak out because it was not an insurrection.
So that he gets a pass.
No, he doesn't get a pass. He did not incite a fucking riot, Tim. He did not.
The rhetoric that he used. So here, let's use an example of when he was running for office.
Go ahead.
You remember when he was, having the rallies or whatever, when he was campaigning, and he had people beating the shit out of other people.
No, he did fucking
yes,
not.
Yes, he even told them directly to hit that motherfucker or something like that. Yes, he sure as hell did. He told them directly to do it, and I'll pay for your lawyer bills. That's what he said. He sure did. And it happened at multiple ones.
It didn't happen multiple. It happened. I remember that one time.
It was multiple times. It was more than twice.
So here you have somebody coming to somebody else's event, starting shit, and inciting violence towards themselves, because it's like you or I going to each other's events and saying, I'm going to go fuck up Tim's event just to be an asshole.
I mean, I can understand the frustration, but every other president that we've had and every other presidential candidate that we've had handled that with grace, as a leader, with respect to the people who are voicing their opinion, because America is supposed to be where we can agree to disagree, or people can voice their opinion. Do I think it's okay to go in there and protest inside of there? No. But do I think that it's okay to beat the crap out of somebody because they are annoying you? No.
Well, let me ask you this. If you came over to my house, which I've invited you over when I had politicians over here, Tim, come over and talk to the opposite. And I'm like, Tim, and
what did I say?
I'll make it awkward. I'll say something that's respect. But if you came over and you talked to them with some respect, and you've done this, I've seen you at the table across a politician, and the politician was like, I don't want to talk to you, you're Democrat. I've seen it. And you were respectful and you backed off. Now, had I had the same event and you came over and you wouldn't let anybody talk to that politician and you would let their message be heard on my property, and I said, Tim, you need to fucking leave or I'm going to stomp your ass.
Well, I think there's a difference between removing somebody and beating the crap out of them unnecessarily.
If somebody's refusing to leave an event that they're not invited to,
I mean, you can force them to leave. That's actually a crime, them coming in there screaming like that. That's disturbing the peace at the very least. And there was security there. He could have had them escorted out without an issue.
I think you're.
That's what should have happened.
There's a word for this. It's beating a dead. It's like you take some little bitty thing that somebody did and you just blow it out of proportion.
No. It's a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior where Donald Trump employs other people to do the things that he wants done, so that he is, he's completely devoid of any responsibility, and he won't take accountability for things that he said. I mean, certainly to some level, you can agree that things that Donald Trump has said has gotten people riled up and has gotten them upset. Oh, they're coming to take your guns. They're coming to do this. They're going to take over the country. They stole the election from me. We have to take it back. We have to take the country back. These are the things that he says. And all those like oath keepers and stuff that showed up there, that they were going off of what he was saying. This is from their own mouths. And then he hung them out to dry. That dude didn't do anything to protect those people when he told them that he would. Like I believe as the Proud Boys, he told them to stand back and stand by. He knew that they were an armed, like, militia type group.
Right. And they've taken over the country, right?
Who?
The Proud Boys.
Well, no, but they were there.
Right.
Certainly, they were breaking into the Capitol trying to keep them from certifying the election.
So let me ask you this. What about the 540 riots in major cities the 2 years leading up to the election where Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were bailing out piece of shit, just business destroying motherfuckers? They were posting bail in like Minneapolis and places like that.
The problem I have with that is that they weren't going after the rioters. The police weren't going after the rioters. What they were doing is trying to screw all of the protesters in the process, because not everybody, and the vast majority of people that were out there protesting, weren't destroying shit.
I guess we were watching different shit, because I was watching CNN, and everybody on CNN that I saw was trying to start shit.
No.
Okay.
The vast majority of protesters weren't engaged in rioting. There were rioters, and those people should have been put in jail. But unfortunately, right. And what happens is that the police come in there, just assume everybody, even though they're all just standing around peacefully, because we've seen this. They kettle them. They get them in there, and then they shoot them all with pepper balls and rubber bullets.
My God.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Do you think other human beings are like, I can't wait to get to all these motherfuckers in a circle and shoot them?
Do you remember the umbrella guy?
Jesus Christ.
The umbrella guy. The guy that was all masked up. He had this colorful, like, eyeglass or whatever, and he had this umbrella, and he was one of the first ones. He threw a brick into a window of a Ace Hardware or something like that. And then when that happened, that kind of sparked everybody. The dude was apparently a police officer. At least that's, what the theories are. They aren't, I don't think, 100% certain which one he was, but he was with the groups on the right, and they do that. They're instigators. They go in there and they try to get them to do this so that they look bad. So that really started a process that kind of ballooned out from there. But there's no excuse for going in, rioting, burning shit, breaking windows. None of that stuff was okay. But that also doesn't mean that you don't have a right to go protest if you want to. And you shouldn't be treated like crap if you want to do so. So then you end up...
You think that all the Trumpers that went up, because I know some personally that were there. You think that those people that went up to the Capitol on the 6th and stayed outside the Capitol and did what they were supposed to do, you think that those people should not have been able to do that?
I guess I don't understand. If they never entered the Capitol and they didn't go beyond the barricades, then I don't see why they would ever be charged with anything.
Right. There's no problem with that, right?
No.
I don't see any. Some bitches that went inside the Capitol and leave Trump alone. Because if Trump really is this mega genius and manipulator, and he can only get 100 people to do what the hell he said instead of thousands, and these Proud Boys that are wanting to take over the country, I mean, it's either one or the other. He either is or he isn't this magic wizard that can make people do what they need to do.
I think those people thought that once they entered and was able to disrupt that Trump would come in with generals and the military. I mean, I follow this right-wing propaganda stuff all the time. The conspiracies, the QAnon stuff. I read this stuff religiously because it's fascinating to me to watch these people go down these rabbit holes where they start believing these weird things. And those people are so lost in their mind about what is reality and what isn't reality. They actually thought Trump was going to follow them there. They thought that. Those people that went in there really actually thought it. When they got arrested, that's what they were telling the police. They thought that they were going to have this support from the president with military to come in and save them. Didn't happen. Trump never intended to do anything about it. He just wanted to stir the pot and make it look bad. I think that was his intent.
I don't know that was his intent, but I never in my life thought that Trump was going to stay in the White House.
Well, he certainly thinks that he should. Have you seen the pictures and stuff that he posts of himself about, the years that Trump stays in office until like 2048, 2056? It just goes on and on. He recently posted a video of himself standing in front of this sign, Trump 2024, Trump 2028, and then just kept going and going and going and going and
I
going.
don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. Trump was a great president because of his policies. Trump is not above America and the laws of America. None of us are. So I love Trump because Trump said, I will go to Washington, I'm going to do this. And the sumbitch went to Washington and he did this. I haven't, in my lifetime, I'm 45, I can't remember another person that did that besides Ronald Reagan.
Well, one thing that Trump did do that was devastating to this country is split us in complete half. We were already wavering because a black man became president.
I think Obama did that, but you go right ahead.
Well, I mean, just because he was black and got elected, that really pissed off a lot of people, about 30% of the population, to be exact.
No, that's not why we got pissed off. We got pissed off because then all of a sudden black people became more important than anybody else in the world. Black Lives Matter, and we went into ISIS, and he went around the world and apologized for Pearl Harbor, and Obama was a horrible, he put more people on welfare than any other president in the United States. I can talk for an hour about Obama, and not because he's black, but because he was a shitty president.
Well, I think it's funny because Obama, for all his faults, and I don't think he was a great president either, he did try to bring people together. The apology tour, that's taken out of context. That is a right-wing talking point that's devoid of any context whatsoever. The United States has done terrible things.
Just one thing.
What's
Japanese came over and bombed Pearl Harbor.
Okay. And then
killed almost 3,000 Americans.
Okay.
And he went to Japan for his Southeast Asia bullshit tour and apologized for us dropping a nuclear bomb or atomic bomb on Japan.
Good.
Fuck off. Good. What do you mean good?
We didn't actually need to do that. They were going
to waste millions of lives? What are you
doing? They were going to surrender anyway. The bomb, they used that as a test. And not only did they drop one, but they dropped multiple. And now the United States is the only country in the world that has ever used a nuclear weapon. And then we stand on this high perch and we tell everybody else what we can and can't, or what they can and can't do for nuclear weapons, like North Korea, as an example. So to me, it was an unnecessary thing that caused generations. They still, to this day, have children that are born deformed because of that, because the radioactivity. Yes.
They have more people living over 100 years than any other nation in the world, Tim.
Well, that's a cultural thing. But the people, they still have children that are born deformed because of genetic mutations from that was passed down the line. I mean, you can look it up. They've been dealing with this for a long time now. At the very moment, no, this actually is not true. They had already been, Chaos Seeker said Japan at that moment was very determined to continue fighting. At that moment, they were in negotiation with us about it. The one thing that they asked that we do was, I don't remember the guy's name. He was the leader at the time, because the Japanese revered their leaders as gods of some kind. And
the emperor,
they wanted us to acknowledge this, and they would surrender, and we wouldn't do it. So, right. So they were on the verge of doing it. I mean, there's documents backing this up, and we decided to just blip, and then we killed 250,000 people,
250,000
or something. Yeah. So when he goes and says that he apologizes for what we did, I mean, God, I've seen these documentaries, the skin hanging off. I mean,
Have you seen the president of fucking Japan over here apologizing for what they did in the Bataan Death March or to Pearl Harbor? No, you haven't. Have you seen the Japan prime minister over here apologizing that we, as a country, your Democratic president Roosevelt putting Japanese Americans in internment camps because they
Which we
trust
shouldn't have done
anybody?
either.
No, but
Which was wrong.
why we as Americans have to always carry this fucking guilt and apologize to everybody for standing up for ourselves and being American?
I don't think it's guilt at all. I think it's acknowledging the fact that there were things we could have done better. A great example of how you get past history is what Germany has done. They didn't try to brush it under the rug. They didn't try to remove it from their schools like we try to do here in Oklahoma with the whole CRT thing. They actually went full force. Like, this happened. We don't want it to happen again. These are the terrible things that we did. Don't forget it. And they didn't.
If we did that in Oklahoma, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'll agree with you on that, because in my high school senior year, we had a German exchange student. He had to go back because he had to serve 2 years in the military, required by the German government. And he also had to do a tour of all the messed up Holocaust camps and shit so that they wouldn't forget that. That's fine with me. Remember the history. Right. But when you inject the fucking feelings of because you're white or because you're black or because you're German or because you're Jewish, you are just bound to make the same mistakes as your ancestors. That's where I get the bullshit out of.
Well, that's another thing that I kind of take issue with the whole 1775 thing. Like, I get the intent behind it, but I think the unintended consequence, or even I'm starting to believe that the real purpose of that is to whitewash history, because what we started seeing, what we started seeing when
I'm listening.
When Obama became president, we started seeing this. I don't know. I don't want to use the term white fragility because I hate that term. But it was a belief, I think, with European Americans, I'll say, that they were starting to become the minority, which, I mean, to a degree is true, because less and less, white people, because they're breeding with colored people and such. But there is this fear, and you can go to these right-wing forums. They all talk about it. When you go to these, and I'm talking extreme right-wing people, these real sycophantic Trump supporters, they monkey is what they refer to black people as. They use the N-word constantly. This is how they talk about these people. So there is a segment of the population that will do anything to keep black people from having the same level footing. This is just a fact. Now, is that a majority of white people? Of course not. Most white people are nowhere near that. But those are the people that were up there on January 6th. Those are the people that started really getting divided after Obama became elected, because they just hate black people. They hate them.
Tim, are you serious right now?
I'm serious as a heart attack. I can send you to a website right now, Godlike Productions. If you're curious, go to godlikeproductions.com. Just start reading through there.
I'll let you plug that, but
yeah, I mean, it's something that I go over because I like to see how crazy people are. And you want to see some twisted people, that right there, Godlike Productions.
You want to see some twisted people? I'll tell you some twisted people. Democrats from like 1920 to 1968.
Now let's before we get into that. Who was the
majority of the people in the KKK from 1920 to 1968?
Well, just like we deal with money and inflation, we're going to have to say Republicans, because the party's flipped.
Oh my God.
Yes, they sure did. They sure did. They absolutely flipped. Yeah. So if you go back to what Democrats back in the day, what they believed, and compare it to today, most of that stuff is going to be what you find with the Republican Party.
So 4 or 5 years ago, when Joe Biden did the eulogy for the Grand Imperial Wizard of the KKK,
I don't know about that.
You laughed, but he did.
I don't know about that. I'd have to.
Oh my! I will. Oh, I got it. Oh my God!
Here, I'll look it up.
It was his mentor, Joe Biden. Eulogy of Grand Wizard. Just type that shit in and see what pops up.
Oh, Robert Byrd.
Yes, Byrd.
Okay, yeah. He was also a politician, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. He was a
politician. Democratic politician.
Right. Yeah, and how old was he when he died?
I don't know. 114. I don't know.
Right, he was really old. Yeah. Again, the parties swapped in about the 60s or so.
Joe Biden. What year was Joe Biden elected into the Senate?
Oh, I don't know. He's been 72. There too damn long. He's been 72. There too damn long. That's for sure. But I mean, and besides that, you're talking about people that were way long time ago.
My point
the Democrats because let's look at it this way. Bill Clinton changed the Democratic Party.
You don't want to bring up Bill Clinton with me.
Bill Clinton turned the Democratic Party into a piece of crap. Clintonian democracy is different than Rooseveltian democracy or Democrats.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, FDR Democrats are far different than Clinton Democrats. And the same is true for prior to FDR and prior to all of that. The parties have flipped several times. We used to have the Whigs, and then they got eaten up by, other people. So it's saying that, well, the Democrats back in the Civil War, they're the ones that were the racists and such. Yeah, but there was a completely different party at the time. So you can't really compare those.
I think since Kennedy, we've been pretty solid as far as conservative versus liberal.
Yeah, but the Republicans took over the Christian vote.
Okay.
Around the 80s. So they really started pandering towards, religious people about that time. It had been Ronald Reagan. That was one of the big successes of Ronald Reagan, was snatching up the Christian voters because they were losing.
I don't know if that was his success. Ronald Reagan, I wish he was alive today and could run for 3 or 4 more terms, but
no.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you talking about? Nah.
Ronald Reagan was a horrible president.
You probably love fucking Jimmy Carter.
This is a guy. Okay, Jimmy Carter didn't get a chance to do anything.
Oh my God!
Because those hostages, the ones that Ronald Reagan went behind his back during the campaign, got them to hold the hostages longer in exchange for weapons. Then when he gets elected, the day after he gets elected,
Jimmy Carter, if he was any kind of count as a president, would have already went in there and got them damn hostages out.
He had been working on it, but Ronald Reagan in his campaign, the Brown Contra scandal, about that? Yeah, that's what they did.
So you're saying that a civilian was more powerful than the president of the United States?
Well, Ronald Reagan wasn't just a civilian. Let's be honest. He wasn't a nobody at the time. And it wasn't just Reagan. It was him and his campaign and all of those people that he knew from the Republican Party that went over there and did that. Absolutely.
I know that they did that.
That should have landed him in jail. That one should have landed him in jail. You're not allowed to do that as a citizen.
So then Obama should have been in jail too when he was talking to fucking Putin, right? He's saying I can do more once I'm elected president.
Okay. Once you're president, that's your job. Foreign influence and such.
But when you're running as a candidate for president, you're not supposed to talk to foreign powers.
You're not supposed to do shit like what Reagan did, which was
Reagan did. Like
hold on to our prisoners for a little bit longer until I get elected, so to make me look better. Because we don't
all do it, Tim. It's just your threshold of bullshit. They all do it.
I don't know of any other president that did that.
Nixon, Reagan, Obama
had them hold hostages for longer.
Not hold hostages, but they made the backdoor deals. Everybody else does
with foreign powers.
Yes, Nixon called and talked to the North Vietnamese like 3 days before the election.
Well, I mean, this depends on what they are doing. Think of the difference. Somebody calling a foreign leader as a civilian and talking about stuff versus this guy going and saying, hey, we're going to work out a deal for when I become president. You hold on to those hostages a little longer and I'll give you some weapons. I mean, there's a big difference there. So Ronald Reagan, no, terrible person. No. The guy came in there and stripped the White House of solar panels.
Yeah.
Now, why in the hell would you do that?
Because they weren't fucking working, Tim.
They weren't working. The whole point was to get more money into renewable energy so that we would be further along today than we are now.
Kind of like Newsom out in California. We won't buy or import any more gasoline-operated vehicles.
There's hydrogen power.
Electric. We only do electric. But by the way, you
not
can't
just electric.
Charge your electric cars until, I don't know, 3026.
It's not just electric. They have hydrogen-powered vehicles.
Who does?
We do. You can go out and
two people?
No, you can go out and buy a hydrogen-powered vehicle.
Where do you charge it at? Where do you fill up a hydrogen?
They have hydrogen pumps.
Where?
I mean, I don't know of any because I don't have a hydrogen-powered vehicle.
Why not natural gas? I would have been on board with you if you said natural gas.
Well, I mean, it burns. It's a combustion engine, and it spews out crap into the atmosphere. Pollution.
This fucking much crap. You know how many? What's the big problem with solar panels?
I mean, look at natural gas and what happened over the wintertime and all the prices skyrocketing. So
what do you do with solar panels that can no longer be used?
I don't know. Sure, they can recycle them.
I do, because you can't fucking recycle them because they're made out of petroleum.
I mean, they're required to have petroleum to make them, sure.
That's the big problem with solar panels out in California right now, because they're hitting their 25, 30-year mark and they have nothing to do with it.
That goes back to my point about Ronald Reagan removing those solar panels and the subsidies for solar panels for homes, because had he not done that, more people would have been purchasing those solar panels, which puts more money into companies to do research and development on those things, which means they would have gotten a lot further along in both batteries and in solar than we are today. But he didn't do that because he was bought and paid for by the oil companies.
Let me ask you this. Nobody's disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm not retarded. I know what happened.
Yeah, they've been trying to kill the electric car for decades now.
They have cars that could probably run off water if they needed to. My issue is this. You know my wife, right?
Yes.
My wife wants us to be completely off grid and do solar panels.
Yeah.
She loves the environment. She loves the world. She wants to save it. And I'm like, I'm going to be gone in 20 years. I don't give a shit.
What about your kids?
Well, I'm going to be gone. I don't care. Anyway, here's the thing. She calls up this solar panel place, and they want to put solar panels on our roof. You know how much that cost?
I think she said $70,000 or something.
$70,000.
Yep. And it would be a lot cheaper had Reagan not done that.
This is why we need to do split screen, because I would punch you right in the fucking nose right now.
Well, I'm serious.
It would not make a difference.
Yeah, well, of course it would. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. The more that something is purchased, the cheaper it can be produced on mass production. Because if you're only building 10 or 20 of them or whatever a day, you have to charge a lot in order to make any money. But if you're able to create 10,000 of them at a time, because there is a demand for 10,000 of them, you're able to do it at a much lower cost because you get bulk material and you build them all at once.
I think that you're trading one racket for another is my point.
Well, I mean, you're right. There's a very good point in that, but the research and development isn't stopping. We're not stopping at solar panels. We're not stopping at the freaking crappy lithium batteries that we have. We're not stopping there. Just like with the electric car, we didn't stop there. We went to hydrogen. They've got hydrogen cars that run now. you can fill them up at a tank, and in California has those places. So it's
Fuck
not just
California,
electric car.
man.
The point is diversifying your electric, the needs of your electric, because clearly power and energy is a vital part of any country. So if you don't have your own control over that, you have to run at the whim of somebody else who does control it.
Where do we get our lithium from and our shit to make electric cars?
Well, from other countries. Yeah, we don't have
not other
lithium mines.
countries. There's like
Yeah.
2. Do you know the 2?
Probably Russia, and I don't know the others.
What is China and Afghanistan?
Yeah, I think there's other countries though.
Cobalt and lithium. Cobalt and lithium.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are other countries, because I know Elon Musk was talking about one and for lithium, and it wasn't China or whatever else you said.
China and Afghanistan. Cobalt.
But I've already acknowledged that lithium is crap, and they're already making breakthroughs in batteries that don't use that stuff, that don't use rare minerals.
I'm not against electric cars. I'm not against
Then
progress.
why not get behind it? I don't understand the reluctance. We know that the oil companies have a shitload of money, because they always have, and they're going to do whatever is in their best interest, because that's how a business operates. They're going to try to kill stories, just like Philip Morris and the rest of the tobacco companies tried to hide the studies and say, no, it's fine. It's safe to smoke. It's good for you. It actually will help you lose weight. Remember those ads when they would put that out there? And then
smoking keeps me out of fucking prison.
Right. Well, and then finally, when that comes out that, yeah, in fact, it's causing all these problems and stuff, and then they had to admit it. I mean, this is something that they tried to suppress for years and years and years and years. They did the same thing with the climate change and, human-induced climate change. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't diversify, because I don't want to rely on the Middle East, and I certainly don't want to rely on Russia for energy. Yeah, sure, we have ours here, but that's a finite resource. It'll run out eventually.
But for some reason, when I hear you debate me on this topic, that's what I hear. And I'm just being honest with you. I hear you saying, I want to rely on Russia, or I want to rely on the Middle East.
I don't want to. I didn't say that. I said I do not.
Or Afghanistan. I feel what, are you a globalist?
No. And and here's another thing: nuclear fusion.
Yeah, what about nuclear fusion? I'm on board with that.
They're working on it, and just about a week or two ago, they got it up to 100 million degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
100 million degrees Celsius for I don't know how long. The problem
almost like zero waste.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like a mini sun. So that's where it's going. The problem is they don't have enough of a containment method yet. And it could be 20, 30, 40 years before they're able to figure it out. But that's the thing. You put money into that stuff because you know it's going to be better. Of course, the energy companies aren't going to like it because the cost of nuclear fusion will be phenomenally lower than it is today. Yeah, I mean it'll be like a self-containing, thing.
I don't want to. This was a good. We're going like an hour or two, whatever. I want to get back to some final thoughts on the insurrection, January 6th shit.
Yeah, I think that those people that were there should not hold office because that's what we created the 14th Amendment, Section 3 for. I agree with the judge. I don't know that this Supreme Court will because it is an activist court. So they're just going to make up whatever they want to make up to serve whatever purpose Trump wants.
You really think that about the Supreme Court?
Yeah, this Supreme Court. Yeah, absolutely.
Then what point do we even have the Supreme Court for? I mean, you can't think that.
Well, the Supreme Court needs to be retooled. What it needs to be done. We need to set it where every president gets to nominate and appoint at least one, if not two, Supreme Court justices. You put a freaking limit on the amount of time that they can stay in office, however, whatever time frame that is, so that every president can do 2, and then you just cycle through them. And that's the way it should be, because you got these, like Kavanaugh. Look how young he is. He's going to be on the court for what, another 30, 40 years, just because Donald Trump happened to be there whenever somebody died or retired. You know what I mean? So it definitely something we need to work out. But at this stage of the game, Republicans have no want to change it, because they've got everything that they've been wanting for a long time, which is an activist court that will overturn rights and screw the people over, and do what's best for what they believe, for religion. Because look at them; they're all religious.
I completely. That's what our country was founded on: freedom of religion.
No, it was not. Oh, freedom of religion, yeah, from religion as well. So when you have a court packed with a bunch of religious sycophants, what do you think they're going to do?
But that's America.
No,
that's America.
No.
Yes.
The court is not there to put its own biases in. That is the entire point why they weren't elected. That's why they're supposed to be appointed in the way that they are, so they aren't moved by the whims of the people. But clearly that's not working. We had a right.
Those Supreme Court justices go through hearings, and they're vetted, and they all say, I'm a constitutional, I go by the Constitution. My religion doesn't have an effect on what I believe.
And they don't answer questions. Well, I can't comment on that because I don't have a court case in front of me. That's always their answer. The vetting process for Supreme Court justices is stupid. It's political, and it depends completely on who's in charge. And if Republicans are in charge and they have the presidency, they just shoot them on through. Just like Mitch McConnell, or election year, we can't nominate Supreme Court justice because it's an election year. Granted, I think we dodged a bullet with Merrick Garland's dumbass, but still.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for saying that.
This was the argument that he made. Well, it's election year. We're going to need to wait until the people speak. So then what does he do? Like 1 week before the election, when a spot opens up, he rams that zealot, Amy Coney Barrett, into the Supreme Court. That's
Why do you think she's a zealot?
God, have you listened to her? Have you heard the thing and seen the things
I thought she was very articulate. I thought
she is a religious crazy. She is a religious crazy. She had never even, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I'd have to look it up again, but I don't think she had ever even argued a case.
No.
It was either her or one of the other ones. I remember reading about that. Matter of fact, I'll just Google it.
Yeah, Google that, because that doesn't sound right.
Amy Coney Barrett never tried.
What's your prediction for the midterms?
Barrett has never tried a case to verdict or argued an appeal in any court.
No,
nor did she ever perform any notable pro bono work.
Tim.
No, this was talked about when her nomination was up, and that she was completely unfit for it.
So you're saying she didn't lawyer, she was just a judge?
I don't know what their basis on that is, because they got words for everything. But let's say she never tried a case to a verdict or argued an appeal in any court, and did almost no pro bono work. She only worked on 3 cases in her life.
So almost no pro bono work means that she did pro bono work.
Right. Let's see, overturn 7 million. So I'll look it up later and I'll add it in the comment section. I'll put that stuff in the comment section, because I'm not 100% on that, but she clearly was not as fit as other judges would have been. You've got somebody who hasn't tried any or many cases. I don't know.
What's your predictions for the midterms?
Man, that's a tough one. It's really hard to tell at this point. It really is.
What are you feeling though?
I feel disaster coming. So for me, that's Republican route. And for you, I suppose that would be a Democrat route, because it could go either way here. I really don't know. I feel like it's probably going to just be more good luck.
Yeah, I
That they're
think
going to
they'll.
lose some. They're going to, it'll just end up being on an even keel, which, it is what it is. Because Joe Biden, oh my God, these people that elected this nut job should be ashamed of themselves, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the worst thing that could have happened, I
Oh, I
guess.
do. I do.
But I'm of the opinion that they need to just do more for people, like the student loan thing. Just forgive them all. If the government has already purchased those loans, forgive every fucking dollar because we already paid for it. To hell with it. Why not? Why are we paying for something we just paid for? We gave the bank, we handed out the bank's money not once but twice. They went in, they bailed those banks out in 2008, and then they turned around and they said, we're going to buy all the debt from your student loans, and that's what they did. So the banks are always made whole and the people get shit on. So, it's stuff like that that really irritates me. And then I have to pay for us going to other countries and killing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sick of that. Everybody's, well, I don't want to pay for somebody. I don't want to pay for your college education. Like, well, I don't want to pay for you to go around murdering people either. But, it is what it is. I keep having to all my life pay for that crap. Did you know?
What do they call that? The American burden?
I don't know. Well, I've never heard that phrase before, but I mean, we've only been in peacetime in the United States for like 13 years of our entire existence. We are a warring nation, and I think that's a problem.
I
I
think
think
we're a warring world.
I don't know that the world is doing it as much as we have, or at least been sticking our nose in everybody's business. Now I say that, but we're also the most powerful nation. So to some level, I'm sure we're going to stick our nose in people's business because we feel like we need to, allies or whatever. But
It's not really their business. It becomes our business because we're the most powerful nation. What affects one country affects us.
yeah, but I've always taken a real libertarian approach to that, which is leave people the F alone. If this culture wants to, mutilate genitalia and that because that's how they've always done it, who the hell am I to tell them to stop doing it? We freaking, uh, circumcise our boys. Nobody gives a damn about that. But
So if we live in Owasso
we do.
and you knew over in Claremore that they were working little girls in a sweatshop.
No, that's apples and oranges. I'm talking about a completely different country with different laws, different rules, different cultures, different perceptions. If it was happening here, of course I would be upset because I could do something about it that wasn't me going in and invading them, or killing
It's
them.
all relevant though, right?
Not to me.
It is to me. Cities, counties, countries, world, whatever.
No, I mean the other countries aren't relevant to me. Do I want?
God, you're a hateful bigot.
No, no. So why do I get to decide for another country that they cannot have a culture that performs? They call it genital mutilation. They have another term for it, but that's what they've always done. It's not like they're doing it to be terrible. They're
I
doing it
don't.
because that's their ritual. That's their culture. I don't like it, but I mean, damn, you've been doing it for hundreds, thousands of years or whatever, and then you got one country going, nah, that's wrong because God says it's wrong.
No, I don't know about God or saying whatever. I know
Yeah,
that I don't buy Chinese shit because I know that they practice genocide and shit over in China.
man, it's pretty much impossible to not buy Chinese shit. It's
Yeah, I
all
should say I don't try to buy Chinese
right.
shit.
Yeah, I don't shop at Walmart anymore. I haven't shopped at Walmart. I went there one time recently, but since that time, it was probably 5 years. I'd never stepped into a Walmart. I fucking hate it. I hate Walmart, and I haven't needed to, which is kind of weird because used to that was you got everything from Walmart, but I don't know. the Walton
Yeah.
Foundation, and you got the Koch brothers, and no, they push things that I disagree with, and you do what you can, but
Same thing with Kaiser and all them boys over in Tulsa, right?
yep, same deal. Yeah,
Yep.
when you got outside influences coming into your state politics, that's bullshit. That should be outlawed. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. But the Supreme Court said, all right, money is speech. The more money you got, the more speech you got. So, it is what it is. It's not going to change anytime soon. And with this Supreme Court, it's just going to get worse.
I think that they're going to take the House. I think the Republicans are going to take the House for sure. The Senate is going to be close, and I think that in 2024 they're going to take the White House back. I don't know if it'll be Trump or DeSantis.
If they run Biden, Trump will win in 2024 if he runs. I feel like DeSantis has a good chance of beating Trump.
Yeah, he might.
I do, because but again, like I told Tom Hartman on this program once, I said, if you guys run Joe Biden, you're going to end up with Trump 2.0, and he's going to be more intelligent. He's not going to be an asshole, and he's going to be able to just shove it wherever he can, and it's going to be terrible. And I believe that is Ron DeSantis. I believe he is a worse version of Trump.
I can't wait
because he is a better version of Trump.
Oh yeah,
if that makes any sense.
No, he's president. He's more presidential, and his policies are his policies are as firm and as conservative and Republican as I can. I love it. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily hate DeSantis, but I think once he gets in there and gets that power, he's going to start doing the crap that Trump is doing. It's going to rule on with a religious thumb. He's going to, push the whole religion crap on everybody. I'm so sick of religious people pushing the crap on everybody else. I'm tired of it.
Because I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing a bunch of religious crap, as you put it. I'm not hearing that. All I'm hearing is the Rainbow Coalition and the gay, LGBTQ, the transgender movement, all this nasty book bullshit.
So what is the LGBTQ movement trying to do? Let's down to its core.
They're trying to tell my boys and girls that they are not boys and girls.
Well, I mean, that's no. The movement itself is for rights.
What do you mean no?
Them. That's not their goal.
Then why are they worried about K through 6th grade, whether or not they can do drag shows or whether or not they can do transgender storybook time?
Well, I think that goes back to being accepted in society. That's their goal, is to be, one, accepted, and two, have rights like everybody else, which I don't disagree with. Everybody should have the same rights.
They're accepted in society.
No, they aren't. No.
Well, they are with me. I don't have a problem with them in society. What I have a problem with is them being in my public schools.
So what, they go to a trans school?
If you want to.
So you're okay with them just not.
We have a religious school right across the street.
Man, that sure sounds a lot like segregation.
Call it what you will. We have a religious school right across the street where you can get all the Jesus you want. Get you a trans school right across the street where you get all the trans you want. If you want to go to public school and learn about reading, writing, and arithmetic and cut out all the bullshit, then go to public school.
So, I mean, you're okay with taking a segment of the population and saying you cannot participate in public education because my children are there and my children are more important than you.
Not just one segment, all of it. If you want to go to
public gay people
school,
too?
Huh?
Gay people as well?
What?
Do you not think that gay people should be allowed in public school?
I think everybody should be allowed in public school. Whether you're gay, trans, religious, I don't care.
Well, you just said you didn't want it in
when
school.
You step into the door of public school, leave your bullshit at the door, come in, learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic. If you want to practice religion and read out of the Bible, or you want to practice drag shows, or you want to talk to a therapist, keep that outside of public schools.
So should there be no plays about feminine needs or male needs? Like if you have a story that's in a play that has to do with female issues, should that
Can you
not
be
be in school?
specific? Can you be specific?
Oh, I don't know. A story about a woman dealing with woman issues, something like that. Because I mean,
Are you
that's
talking? I don't.
if females and males are allowed to express themselves as females and males, then shouldn't trans people be allowed to at least express themselves
If they want to do it as
as
their body parts require, yeah.
so only based off their body parts, though?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I mean, if that's what you think, that sounds a lot like segregation, but
Call
but
call
the
it what you will.
core of the thing is for rights, and clearly based on the conversation, they need some, because there is I would say a large portion of the population that don't want them around.
I don't
And
think that. No, I don't want you to misconstrue my words. Everybody has rights unless you go into a public school, and then you don't have rights.
I mean, I can't really square that with reality.
Because public school is a socialist environment. You
But
have
black
one.
people are black, white people are white.
No, one people are all people.
Boys are boys, girls are girls.
Boys are boys, girls are girls. You have to go. Everybody has to abide by the same rules. So you can't go in there teaching about the Pope. You can't go in there teaching about the devil. You can't go in there talking about sex. You go in there to read, write, and do arithmetic. And then you go home, and your parents and society can teach you about the rest of the shit.
So what, when Ryan Walters says he wants to bring God back into the school.
I've told Ryan that's bullshit.
Yeah. And I mean, if they tried to push legislation for that, would you come out against that as well?
I've already talked to my legislators.
Yeah. So, what about that prayer closet? Remember the prayer closet? Amy Cook, I believe her name was. She'd have that prayer closet. You didn't like that either, right?
I don't.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Amy. I love Amy. Amy's a good friend of mine. That has no place in public schools.
Yeah. No, I read something she wrote, and she was like trying to build an army of religious people in schools to indoctrinate kids. I mean, and that that's what I was talking about.
Where did you read that at?
It was
Did you read it from the Black Wall Street Times that doxed her?
No, it was on her own website.
And gave out?
No, it was on her own website.
Okay. Well, I just brought that up because the Black Wall Street Times, whenever she filed the complaint, they put pictures of her family and her address and all that kind of stuff on the internet. And these two House Democrats came to Tulsa, and they just beat her up over that. I don't have a problem with her speaking out against keeping out all the LGBT, if she was against religion, if she was against the devil, none of that belongs in public schools. If you want to teach God and you want to teach the devil, then go to Rejoice or go to Lincoln Christian or whatever it is. If you want to teach LGBTQ, then go to the LGBTQ school, whatever. If you want to come and learn to read, write, and do arithmetic, then come to a public school.
Yeah. I mean, should autistic kids have to hide their problems too, though?
No, not at all. I don't know why that is even being brought up.
Well, I mean, it's considered.
It's like being born
disability.
With a penis.
Gender dysphoria is considered a disability.
Considered by who?
By the government. Now.
Right. Like Title IX bullshit. Yeah.
No. The Americans with Disabilities Act, gender dysphoria was added to that. So essentially, you've got people who have, I'm not going to call it a mental disability or whatever, but they're different.
It is, yeah.
So
I'll call it that, but
and they they feel differently.
Right,
so,
but you said autism.
Right,
So are you
because they're
comparing autism to somebody that thinks they're a man or a woman?
well, no, because take for example somebody who has Asperger's, which is on the spectrum.
Right,
You know,
right,
this completely socially inept person
right.
um, annoys the crap out of everybody. I mean, do we, where do we end with things where people are different? Where do we stop accepting them because of their differences and
When it's something that they can't
acknowledge
help.
they can't? Trans people can't help it.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. I think
No,
they can.
real gender dysphoric children cannot help it.
I disagree with you completely.
Well, the medical literature disagrees with you. So
Well, I've got doctors saying that we are pushing this on kids,
that's true. That is true.
and we are uh, for lack of a better word, we're programming these kids to think that they can change their genders whenever they want to, and
See,
that
now
is a mental
that's
illness.
not what I'm referring to, though. What I'm referring to are children who do suffer from gender dysphoria.
Somebody telling me I need to shut up.
No, it's a Twitter update, but I don't know. That's weird.
You're talking about like less than a percentage of the world population.
Well, it's growing actually. Remember
And
I
why
talked
is
about
that?
I remember
Why
I
is that?
talked about atrazine. Remember I talked about in one of the
Right.
recent programs. So, I mean, imagine that though, if it turns out, and I believe that it will eventually, that the crap that our kids have been drinking as youths is turning them into, causing imbalances with their hormones like estrogen and testosterone and such, to the point where their development gets confused or whatever. Is that their fault? I don't think so. I mean, you wouldn't tell a kid who has lead poisoning to just keep reading. You got to try harder. You know what I mean? So, to that degree, I believe that it is entirely possible that we have been poisoning our children with this crap, and that's why they are the way they are. And if it turns out that that's true, don't you think that that's a different story than just this stuff? And should we not accept those children who were harmed by it, perhaps?
Um,
I mean,
I'm
I know that's a kind of a weird
if
situation.
that was the case, then I think that we would have millions upon millions upon millions of children that didn't know if they had a penis or a vagina.
Well, I mean, you would know because you'd look down and see, but it's the mentality or
Right.
whatever.
Okay. So you would have millions upon millions of millions of children that had the mentality that they didn't think that they had a penis or a vagina.
Well, they know whether they have a penis or vagina or not.
You know what I'm saying, Tim.
It's what they feel like in their mind.
Right.
But
That's what I'm saying.
like I've said before, if you can feel like whatever you want, that's your deal. I'm not going to judge you for it. And I understand the argument on the other side where you're not going to push me or force me to involve myself into your beliefs, but a person can't determine that for themselves what another person is serious about. So that's, it's a hard thing to deal with because you don't know. You can't know if a person is really actually gender dysphoric or just pretending in their mind. So I don't know.
Here is the very bottom where I'm at. If you come into the public school and you have gender dysphoria, say it's a real thing, say it's a serious issue. It's like Asperger's or autism. That's fine. Bring that kid in. They're going to learn to read, write, and do arithmetic. What the teacher is not going to do is include the entire class into making sure that they feed into that bullshit, whether it's religion or LGBTQ or transgender.
I don't disagree with that.
Whatever you bring into the class, that stays at the door. The teacher is there to teach basic fundamentals of education.
Yeah. I mean, they are.
Keep your other shit outside, whatever it is.
Right.
And that's where I'm at on that. Now, in society, I don't give a shit if you want to piss in a litter box. I don't care if you think you're a man and you're really a woman. I don't care. I literally don't. I love you. I'm going to be supportive of you. But when you're in my child's classroom and you're an adult and you tell my child, what pronoun would you like to go by? And my child says, I'd like to be called a dolphin.
But if everybody agrees to do that, like if the majority of people in the class, what does it hurt? How does it hurt anybody? That's, and I'm not arguing for that,
I'll tell you
because
what it
we've had
hurts.
conversation about it before, but think about it. What does it actually hurt?
You want me to tell you what I really think?
The pronoun thing, yeah.
What if all them boys that stormed the beach at Normandy in 1945 decided that they were unicorns and dolphins and didn't want to get out of the boat?
Well, some of them would have flown and the other ones would have swam.
And we'd be speaking German today.
I mean, maybe. But I think that's also another problem with not having had a large, like Vietnam for a long time, is that people don't understand the necessity of having, masculine men in society. And even that gets shit on left and right.
Oh, I get shit on daily.
Masculine.
I'm gonna raise an alpha male. I'm gonna raise
toxic
a
masculinity.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. No, I mean, you can still raise a badass and be able to respect people. You know what I mean?
Agree. I agree. I think that's part of raising a badass is to learn how to respect people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's hope, because if we get invaded, I don't know if all these, purple-haired people are going to be ready for it, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But we kind of went off in a deep end there.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty. And we even said we weren't going to talk about that much anymore, but I don't even know where the hell that came from, to be honest.
I don't either.
But
I'm glad it happens naturally like that. So
yeah, I mean, it's a because that's a tough one, because it's us talking about it's a lose-lose for us, because you pisses everybody off on one side or the other. Me, I personally, I'm like, I don't know, but I really feel like chemicals are causing this, and I don't know that it was intentional.
I don't think chemicals. I think it's bullshit. Parents just worried
about look up atrazine.
And worried about being friends with their kids.
Look up atrazine. Look it up. It does it to other species. So I'm sure that there is some effect on our children that are drinking water that is tainted with that crap. I don't see any large scale studies being done on it one way or the other, because they probably don't want to. I just got a message from something. I don't know what the hell that was.
Tim, we are completely healthy at my house.
Oh,
we don't put fake shit in our bodies.
I
will look up atrazine though and see what that's about. But
my wife just asked me if my eyes hurt. Yes, they do.
Rubbing your shit.
They're dry as shit. I've got, I should have put this in there. Boom.
Yeah, staring at these screens for a long time fucks with your eyeballs.
Yeah, well, I don't have a window open in my office, and I smoke in here.
That's gross.
Yeah, so it's. Oh, that feels better. I'm sure that's what everybody wanted to see, but yeah, no, it's
that's what she said.
Well, plus that genetic disorder messes with my eyes too. So that's not my fault. Oh, see, I'm crying.
Lisa Peterson reminds me of Monica Lewinsky. Oh, that's not on my line. Oh, goddamn. Oh,
here we got several.
Edit that shit out. I'm sorry.
Let's go to the posts. Because the news gave us there was another comment that I had put up there before. Rich people. Oh, here we go. What about the rich people who own private jets that produce twice as much carbon than natural gas? Yeah, I mean, they're anybody that's cruising around in a plane going all over the country all the time is a hypocrite. But I mean, here's the thing. What'll end up happening is that they'll start they'll start penalizing us as if it's our fault, when in fact the pollution and shit that we see is not our fault. That's corporate. That's corporate bullshit, wanting to make money and destroying everything around them. Because they think of all the companies that have been dumping their nasty shit on the ground, in the water, ruining water supplies. It's been happening for a long time. They've had a lot of companies that they've had to sue because of it, because they didn't want to pay the money to get rid of the crap. So they, these corporations don't care. So that's who we're going to have to get to stop.
Here's the thing. If I had money, I would be one of those people you hate. Because my wife, we go to Walmart, we'll have a buggy full of shit. And she won't get a plastic bag for nothing. I'll have to carry in 150 items out of the buggy for the back of my car because she wants to save the world.
Well, I mean, you do what little bit you can. What effect that'll have? I mean, at the very least, not using plastic bags is going to keep them out of the great garbage patch.
Is it though?
Well, sure. I mean, that's one less bag that gets used.
We don't use them, but 47,000 million other people use them.
Yeah, but that's 47,000 million minus one.
Jesus Christ.
Well, think about it. My vote doesn't count because there's 300 and some million other people that are voting, right? But your vote does count because it's one vote. That's one bag. That's one bag that won't end up in the crapper because of something you did.
I know.
So is that going to be all we need to do? Hell no. Those little things, even right now, I don't know they're going to be enough to fix it. But
no, it's not going to get fixed. It's going to blow up in 20 million years, and none of us are going to be here.
But also,
why are we even doing it?
It's okay to make it habit. To make it where it's something that you do normally. You know what I mean? Because then it just becomes second nature to you. And then when it's forced upon you, then that hurt my eyes even worse. I don't know. Ask your wife if clear eyes can go bad, because this stuff is terrible. It's
Did it sting?
Oh yeah, it's still burning. I mean, it always stings, but now it's like really bad. My eyeballs start oozing out. Wow, that's nasty.
That is nasty.
Yeah. Well, we got one watcher. I feel like I'm going to need to take this down and edit it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we got a lot of extra stuff going on in here, but I don't know.
I'm not mad at you, but I disagreed with you a fucking lot.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the big talk we had that was kind of unrelated. But see, now it's feeling more like just the conversations that you and I have.
This is what we do, like usually.
Yeah. Fuck, now I can't see shit.
All right, well, let's get off here.
All right, well, all right, guys. Yeah, I gotta go.
The roll bin.
Yeah. So if you need to clean those trash bins because they're nasty, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna text this number. You're gonna text Loudmouth there, and when you do that and sign up to get your monthly trash bins cleaned, they're gonna send 20% back to us of your first visit. 20%. Because that stuff gets nasty. Matter of fact, I was walking by my trash bin just earlier, and I'm like, oh my God, what died in that thing? They picked up the trash and everything, but now I don't even want to get near it. So I'm like, I need to call these guys.
Yeah, it's really, mine is like bad.
Yeah, you can also go to ruralbincleaning.com. They service the Tulsa metro area. That's Tulsa, Owasso, Claremore, Broken Arrow, Bixby, Jinx, Verdigris, and Glenpool. They don't use any harsh chemicals or anything, but they'll spray it out and deodorize and sanitize it for you. No muss, no fuss.
No muss, no fuss.
Check it out. Don't forget, Loudmouth promo code. So do you have anything else?
I don't.
No?
I'm
all right. Well, I may pull this video down and edit it later. We'll see. But I guess if that's it, I don't have anything else, man. We'll catch you on Thursday at 7.
Thursday at 7.
We're still good?
Yes, sir.
Man. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
See ya.